So how am I going to make second-hand club fitting practical? Let me tell you. M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, 9 degree loft, 10.5 degree loft, 12 degree loft in a row. Look at this outrageous find I had today. I actually bought this off Facebook Marketplace, but the gentleman that sold it was actually my president at my first ever golf club at Donington Grove. And I remember him actually being sponsored by Nike. So he had Nike everything every season that came out. And it's in unreal condition considering the age, and he's definitely used it as well. So you can see some little marks, but this has got nothing to do with the video apart from me just basically showing off my new toy. 50 quid. For this bad boy. So last week I was down at Duncan's place and I was talking about the second-hand club fitting room and how it's going to work in the earlier stages, and how I wanted 7 years worth of different clubs from different brands and how we're going to stock essentially the whole entire room. And some of you were excited and some of you had some concerns, i.e. like security and how much stock you would need and all the other things that I would need to overcome to make the experience great. So even though I will get onto the woods and wedge section in the latter part of this video, let's talk about demo irons and why this is so perfect for second-hand club fitting. Typically, when you do a massive pre-book in a pro shop, Clubhouse Golf, American Golf, you name it, whatever it might be, you will be allocated a demo fitting set, and you would have demo woods and demo irons and shafts top to tail, and the rep will come in, take the old stuff or potentially leave you the old stuff and then bring all the newer heads, or they'll arrive in the post with the new shafts. So old shafts go out, new shafts come in, they'll send you the new XR head or they'll send you the new Rogue ST, whatever it might be. And a lot of pro shops, and we will look at some listings in a minute, are just left with old demo heads, and they're not conforming. You can't necessarily, or they're only 1 7-iron, you can't build them or put them into a set. The shafts have been cut, so obviously they can fit the adapters. So a normal 7-iron length in this, quote me if I'm wrong, I believe is 9-iron length. So you can't just pull the shaft, for example, and just put it in a normal 7-iron. And a lot of people couldn't really be bothered to then take the grip off and sell the grip individually. Therefore, every year, and I see this all the time, and I'm not exaggerating, year after year, you're seeing all these heads being chucked away in the skip or just left to the wayside, gathering dust, you name it. So realistically, me trying to fill 7 to 5 years worth of different demo heads from different manufacturers, so we obviously got Callaway here, and all these shafts will fit the same exact head, so I can pull one shaft from another, I can get different lie angles, you name it, as well as obviously we can then move on to, let's say, the tailor-made. So I'll have the M1s, for example, then I'll have the M2s, the M3s, the M4s, and I can have dynamic golds in one of them, and I can switch them to the graphites. We're going to be able to get an abundance of all these fitting carts starting from this year. Okay, not too much luck with iron demos, they were individuals, but now I'm looking iron fit here, perfect. Stephen, I think that's quite close to me as well. This is exactly what I'm after. I want 5 of these heads. You can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually there's 7 with the left-handed ones as well. Oh my God, there's loads of them. How many have I got here? £50. I imagine it's £50 for the lot. No description. Shame. So I've typed in Maverick irons, ½ an inch longer, and we're going to go look through some listings of sold and whatnot. And this is how I envisage it working. You come, you for a club fit, you pay for the club fit, we look at woods, we look at your bag, look at irons, is there any difference? What ones did you like? And the Maverick irons turned out great. You love them. They're now 3 years old, so they're in that good period. They've been out, they've lost their value. Can you get some for a decent price? Not £120 a club, but more like £40 a club. And you know it's good because you know you need ½ an inch longer, and you know you need 2 degrees upright, and you need steel shafts, you name it. And again, if you don't find the perfect one, it's not the worst thing in the world, because you can try it, and if you don't get on with it, you can still sell them for the exact same amount of money. You're not paying that retail price that is lost straight away. Again, the Maverick potentially a bit higher. We could change this story, and why I'd have like the XRs, for example, come out, and I go, if you like the Maverick and you got on well with the Maverick, but you don't want to spend 500, I completely understand that. You've been playing the game for a year, you don't want to spend £500 on a set of irons. Potentially you get a great deal like this one, 350 for 5 pitching wedge with the Elevate shaft. But again, you don't want to pay that. You want something just as forgiving. I go, well, why don't we use the same shaft, and why don't we just put the XR in? Same head design, relatively same technology, same forgiveness, same loft, and all of a sudden you hit that one great as well. And you go, what are they going for? Our Callaway irons, golf clubs for cash, I actually got these, so they're going to be the most expensive realistically, because obviously they're top of the high end. You'll probably be able to buy it off someone else for cheaper than that. Let's have a quick look at sold listings. I'm going to go with about £180. Great value. And this is the whole thing. I'm trying to go to the point that you get to buy these clubs, try them, test them with myself in here with the multiple different fittings, TaylorMade, Callaway, Mizuno, and you go away knowing you like that iron. You know that you like the Callaway XR, and you might have to tinker with it when it comes to the length or the lie angle, whatever it might be. You might be as lucky as this person that got this whole set for £100. That would be outrageous. Hopefully I fit you into a graphite regular Fubuki shaft, however. But there's no guessing. I always get this answer from a lot of people, or question I should say, going, Simon, I play off 18, I hit the ball this, I have a pull slice, what iron is great for me? And as much as I can tell you what is a good deal, I don't know. I have no idea until I see you swing it, hit it, just like any other club fitter in the world. The main challenge we have is finding thousands of these, and as I've shown you, it's not going to cost me a lot to fill the walls with it. And every time a new set of irons come out, it means another set of demos is going to be put in the skip, and I'll be there ready and waiting to obviously use, probably not that year, but in 3 years it'd be the perfect amount of money to technology ratio that you can try, get fitted for, and hopefully there will be abundance of it selling on eBay as well. Woods and wedges have a different thing going on altogether, because you don't have this. We don't have an abundance of materials being chucked away year on year. If anything, demo heads just get resold or sold as head only, and shafts stay in the shop or whatever it might be. So these retain their value, which means, yes, there is going to have to be some kind of security of these all being locked up. As you can imagine, I would love M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, 9-degree loft, 10.5-degree loft, 12-degree loft in a row. And that's just TaylorMade. We've got Ping, and we've got Callaway, and we've got, you starting to build the picture. Once I get these heads, I know it's going to pay me to say, I don't want to sell them. So it's going to have to add up the cost, don't get me wrong. The other stuff that I have duplicates that come in, yes, I can swap in and swap them out. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, if someone wants to buy this set makeup and I've got a duplicate and they want to take this head, I will do that as long as I've got another one to replace it. But the idea being is that as soon as we hit a 3-year window, so we got the Stealth coming out now. Once it goes Stealth 2, Stealth 3, I'd like to have the Stealth then on the rack, and then whatever's down here 5 years down the bottom, so that probably will be like the M1, I would say, that then gets sold on, because the M3, M4 is probably worth the same amount and more likely to get a hold of it because it's not as old and in better condition. Therefore, these become redundant. When they start coming into my fitting studio, they're not at the £500 retail, they're at the 250, which would be the highest priced drivers, down to the 220 of the Sim 2, and then the 180 of the Sim, and then the 160, 150, and then this 120, and then when this gets too old, this then comes out. And the massive thing that I always seeing being overlooked, or my past experience I should say, in the custom fitting scenario, is set makeup. How does the bag blend? Technology, getting the right shaft, that's all great, but realistically, how does that bag perform out on the golf course? So if I fit you into irons and into a driver, how do you then have the right wood and the right rescue and the gap to the wedges so there's none of that? And with all of this, you will be able to do that. Because there will be an abundance of stuff there for you to try and do it. And because I don't have to have this massive rush of just clearing stock year after year, just like I feel, by the way, way, and I've seen it, and it's very stressful for a lot of pro shops, especially independent ones. You buy gear in for £300, including VAT. You have to sell it at £450, and you probably have to sell 25 to 30 to make it even worthwhile that £20,000 investment you've even put it in. And then come January, you have to get rid of it quick, otherwise you've lost money on each club, and significant amount of money. The best thing about myself is that if I have a wedge or a putter or a hybrid that hasn't sold for 2 years, it doesn't matter. There will be that one guy that has this gap between his 3 hybrid and his 6 iron, whatever it might be, and I go, have you tried this tailor-made burner bubble shafted? And he tries it and he hits it and he loves it, and he goes, how much is that? And I go, £22.50, it's yours, take it, get it out of my sight. That's what I'm enjoying. Unique bags, unique set makeups. It isn't going to cost a fortune. So guys, there we have it. That's my second-hand club fitting idea. As I say, I have had inquiries, I have had messages of places and venues locally to me to use for the fitting studio, which is amazing. But if you do know of anyone or a place, I'm open to more options for that right fit, the perfect fit. But as I say, time is of the essence, and I definitely want to get this ball rolling. If you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like, subscribing if you are new, catch you guys there.